This is going to be a follow-up to Respect the Police 3. I was doing a little research on the Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters. That's Deters. And I'm reading. This is what's going on with this guy. This guy's prosecuting this police officer, and this Hamilton County prosecutor is an asshole himself, and quite an illegal one at that. In the fall of 2004, Deters became a write-in candidate for his former position, Hamilton County prosecuting attorney. He was elected Hamilton County prosecuting attorney on November 2nd, 2004, with nearly 60% of the vote. On April 1st, 2005, Deters and Matthias Heck, that's H-E-C-K, were sued in their official capacity in a federal lawsuit, Citizens for Tax Reform versus Deters. Well, yeah. Go to that. This is Citizens for Tax Reform versus Deters. Is a federal lawsuit filed on April 1st, 2005, in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Ohio, seeking to overturn Ohio Statute ORC 3599.111, which forbids paying petitioners by the signature. The law went into effect on March 31st, 2005. Now, I'm not going to read the whole opinion of the court, but this is what it says as a summary. United States District Court Judge Susan Diolt, I guess, read that, D-I-O-T-T, I believe it is, or D-L-O-T-T, anyway, found that Ohio's law was an unconstitutional abridgment of the First Amendment to the United States Constitution and enjoined the state from enforcing it. The defendants in the case, Joseph Deters and Matthias Heck, were named in their official capacities as enforcers of the law. Deters was a prosecuting attorney for Hamilton County, Ohio, and Heck was a prosecuting attorney for Montgomery County, Ohio. In the district court's decision, Judge Diolt, relied on evidence presented by professional signature gathering companies that indicated a prohibition on per signature compensation would increase the cost and the time associated with obtaining the number of signatures required to qualify for the ballot. The court also found that the state's evidence of fraud in certain petition efforts did not establish the fraud was caused by the method of payment to circulators. I can't talk today. Thus, the court held that the statute did not justify the burden placed on the initiative proponents' core political speech rights. Delot's decision was appealed by the Ohio Secretary of State to the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. On March 5th, 2008, a three-judge panel of the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the district court ruling to strike Ohio's law banning per-signature payments. On August 1st, 2008, the Solicitor General of Ohio asked the U.S. Supreme Court to hear an appeal of the decision. On November 17, 2008, the United States Supreme Court announced that it was declining to hear Ohio's appeal. So they found that Ohio statute to be unconstitutional. Now that's one thing I want to speak up. But then, as I was reading about this guy, Joe Deters, It says here, as I had said, in the fall of 2004, Dieters became a write-in candidate for his former position, Hamilton County prosecuting attorney. Write-in candidate is this. A write-in candidate is a candidate in an election whose name does not appear on the ballot, but for whom voters may vote nevertheless by writing in the person's name. The system is almost totally confined to elections in the United States. And some U.S. states and local jurisdictions allow a voter to affix a sticker with a write-in candidate's name on it to the ballot in lieu of actually writing in the candidate's name. Write-in candidacies are sometimes a result of a candidate being legally or procedurally ineligible to run under his or her own name or party. Write-in candidates may be permitted where term limits bar an incumbent candidate from being officially nominated for or being listed on the ballot for re-election. In some cases, write-in campaigns have been organized to support a candidate who is not personally involved in running. This may be a form of draft campaign. Anyway, why I bring that up is here's this guy. He's prosecuting this this police officer, Tenzing, T-N-S-I-N-G. And yet, the way he was, quote-unquote, voted by the 60% of the people, or nearly the 60% of the people that voted him into that office, Hamilton County prosecuting attorney, he was a write-in candidate. In other words, he just either he wrote himself in, or somebody he knew wrote himself in, or somebody that he didn't know personally wrote himself in, or whatever have you. He was a write-in candidate. Now, he's from the Republican Party. I guess there's nothing illegal about being a write-in candidate, but it just shows that, there's something fishy going on there. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, in other words, you and I can just be wrote in as well. Just put your name up there. I'll put my name up there, you put your name up there, and hopefully somebody vote you in. Doesn't really matter too much who you are, what you stand for, as long as you get written in there. I mean, he does have, some experience. He was an assistant Hamilton County prosecutor in 1992. He was elected to the position of Hamilton County Clerk of Courts in 1988. In 1992, Joe returned to the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. When he was elected prosecutor, he was subsequently reelected in 1996. Yet in 2004, they wrote him in. There was a write-in. He was a write-in candidate. And then he was involved in that lawsuit, Citizens for Tax Reform versus Dieters, which they found that particular statute to be unconstitutional. And according to the suit itself, I'll read the suit. I'm going to read the suit just a little bit. Get to sort of to the bottom of this. There's a point to be made here. Sort of bear with me for a moment. Let's find it here. Wait 1 second. Take a little vape. One second. Let me find this one. And what that is that lawsuit is basically people being paid to get these signatures. One second here. One second. There's a part here I wanted to speak of. One second. A Dragon Koi mech mod, by the way, with a Doge or the A. Oh, here you go. That's what I wanted to get to. It says this is the opinion of the court. It says Dieters and Heck moved for a quote. Dieters and Heck moved for summary judgment based on the intervention in the case by the state of Ohio. As the CTR, Citizens for Tax Reform, did not oppose the motion, the district court granted them summary judgment and dismissed them from the case. So what happened there was the state of Ohio stepped in to defend the case instead of just Dieters and Heck doing so. So they removed Dieters and Heck from the suit, so to speak, but it still held the state of Ohio responsible, and therefore, what happened was when they found out that when the court ruled that the Ohio statute was unconstitutional, or the state of Ohio statute was unconstitutional, therefore, Dieters and Heck, who implemented that statute under their reign, so to speak, also they could no longer implement that statute because it was found unconstitutional, and it was in their official capacity. But what I'm trying to say in this follow-up to Respective Police 3 is that this guy here, this Joseph Dieters, is not clean either. He doesn't have clean hands himself. He's been involved in some wild stuff here. He doesn't. He's saying he with the Ray Tenzing killing of Sam Dubose during a traffic stop, he calls the killing. Joe Dieters calls the killing totally unwarranted and senseless. And yet he implemented a Ohio statute that was found to be unconstitutional. In other words, he implemented a statute that was totally unwarranted and totally senseless. Just shows, to me, sounds like a two-faced son of a bitch is what I think he is. That's my own personal opinion of him. I think Joe Dieters is a two-faced fucking lying, fucking imbecilic, prosecuting, fucking two-faced lying crooked motherfucker is what I think he is. And he's not, he's just jumped onto the bandwagon, Obama's bandwagon, went down the street, got as many followers they could get, gathered up into that wagon. That wagon's getting heavier by the day. And the new bandwagon is jump onto the bandwagon and prosecute police officers. That's the new bandwagon. That's the new bandwagon we'll go down the road on. If this guy, Ray Tenzing, T-N-S-I-N-G, was black, you would have never heard about it. All of a sudden, it was okay to kill Sam Dubose, right? See, this is where, to me, and I consider myself a reasonable person, this word to me sounds really fucked up. I mean, if the police officer was black, and the guy that he killed was black, we'd never hear about it, even though the guy dies, right? Even though this quote unquote victim dies, if the police officer, if the University of Cincinnati police officer was black, would have never made the headline news. It would just been another day, Just another killing. But all of a sudden, because he's white, there's a problem. There's an indictment. And that's why I say it's racially motivated from Obama down. And therefore, it's very wrong what they're doing to these police officers. Very wrong. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Bye.